Then I have one of my favorite tools that I come into play with over the last several months, and is becoming a very, very, very useful tool as I continue to be more refined in my trading, and that is Bookmap. Bookmap has been a lifesaver when it comes to understanding the market and being able to see where the players are. So I marked up my charts on TradingView. I keep those on one monitor, and then I have Bookmap on another monitor, and it allows me to really be able to see once again what's happening from the order book standpoint, where the orders are, where the opportunities exist within the market, what's going on with the current order book, and so on and so forth. And it allows me to see whether I can remain in a trade, whether I should be looking to cut my losses if it's going against me, or if I should be taking profits. And so once again, I take a look at charting on my TradingView account because it's one that I'm used to. I can maneuver it. I know all of the ins and outs from a trading and charting perspective over there. And then I will come over to Bookmap and I will mark my levels out here on Bookmap as well, some of the key areas. So I'll look at initial balance high, initial balance low. I'll look at some of the value area high, value area low locations throughout the course of the day, which will hopefully correspond to some of the trades that I take. Once I get into that area, I'll be looking for responses. And then taking a look at some of the high value nodes as they play out throughout the course of the day. So Bookmap is a lifesaver. It allows me once again to be able to take a look at what's going on in the market and to determine whether or not this is an opportunity to jump in. If I have an edge in being able to activate and execute according to my plan. So generally, I will jump in as we approach certain key levels, whether it's the value area low or value area high, whether it's initial balance low, initial balance high, whether it's a high value node, high volume node, or something along those lines. I'll be looking at those as key areas of interest, as well as like the anchor VWAP. So this is a very, very helpful tool. It's been very helpful for me to move forward in my trading. And then I was looking at some of my stats for the month of July, and I've used it pretty consistently throughout that month as well. And I had 17 days where I had green days. I had 5 days that were red days, and a lot of those were emotionally driven decisions that I made that took winning trades and turned them into losing trades because I was holding on for greed and didn't hold on and execute according to my playbook. So I've learned from those, but I had way more green days than I had red days, and that just shows progress as a trader. And I'm continuing to get more comfortable utilizing the Bookmap tool. But as you can see, man, it just gives you so much insight and to allow you to understand where there are opportunities to jump in the market, where the big boys are playing, what's going on, so on and so forth. So I did use this as I transitioned into one of the trades that I took. Like I mentioned, I jumped in into the market. Let me see if I can get a better execution time for when I jumped into the trade that I took today. That was 203. And I stayed in it for a while because it was moving up and down and back and forth. So 203 roughly is when I got in, which would have been corresponded to about right here. And I just endured this up and down, up and down. This one scared me because I thought this was going to take out my stop loss, but it didn't. And so since I held on there, I told myself I would jump out if it got back around that area again. But shortly thereafter, you can see what happened. We had a bunch of market or aggressive buyers here that couldn't push the market up. And we saw that it started to trail backwards. We saw green aggressive bubbles once again that got smaller and smaller. And then all of a sudden, the sellers jumped in and took us down. So this is where I started to see the fruit of my labor go from, once again, roughly 203 in this area. And then we took it all the way down to about right here. And I front ran it because I didn't want to get into the 5,200 area, which is one of those psychological areas. So I tend to front run. So once I got into this area right here, I decided to take my profits and call my trade a success, which was great because once again, that's one of those times where I would oftentimes try to hold and press my luck, and I would have endured some up and down again, and we would have seen me be able to kind of push it down a little bit further, as we continue to go through the day. And if I had been able to be in front of my computer and focus, I would have probably gotten back in once we saw it break to the low side again. I'm not sure if this is the time where it jumped. No, this one ended up going back. I thought I would have been able to take it down to like 51.86 or so. But anyway, this was a great time for me to cut and take my profits. And then I ultimately called it a day because I had some additional meetings at work. But this is, the beauty of Bookmap and being able to see where these big green bubbles, which are the market or aggressive buyers, versus the big red bubbles, which are the um, aggressive sellers. And you can see that. And then also some of the liquidity that's in the book. Over here, I have mine set up so that I can see my high volume nodes. And then also the order book, the session volume profile, and then the chart volume profile. So this has been very helpful for me. It allows me to, have insights that most people don't have. And then when you see the activity of Bookmap in place, man, you can just see all of the beauty that it brings along with it, right? So you can see when it's moving up, you can see who's in control. The big bubbles will tell you whether the buyers are in control or the sellers. And you can see up to this point, the buyers were in control. It began to run into some resistance here. And then it started to pull back. So those are insights that you can get. It allows you to see whether or not you should remain in a trade or whether it's something that you should decide to take profit and move on from. So I track this every single time I jump into a trade. It gives me more comfort. It gives me the confidence to know whether I am entering at a good place and ultimately where I should be taking profit or cutting the trade short if it's going against me. So hopefully this is helpful. This is one of the things that I do every single week in preparation for the week. And then I refine my charts as I go through the week with new levels and being able to identify once again previous days low and high. The current days are pre-market low and high, and then any key levels based off of anchored VWAP or VWAP going into the upcoming session that I plan on trading. So hopefully this is helpful, guys. Bookmap has been a savior for me when it comes to being able to identify where the liquidity lies and where the opportunities are, and I'm forever grateful for it. It's one of those tools that I'll continue to promote because it's been very good to me. Hope all is well and happy trading this week.